meaningful friendships or not. My take on it is that it does, although there are some downsides, as long as every
Yeah, so our topic basically talks about how online friendships start online and will be stronger when we meet another.
So we are more on the positive side of it, where we think that friendships actually last longer and better online first, and then that shows like how online friends can have led to like deeper meaningful friendships.
No, I think it's a very interesting concept to discuss friendships being longer when you are using technology as part of the facilitation of living. It's interesting thought.
It's a good proposition, not all the parents.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have viewed the posters, I'd like to welcome you back to your seats. Please note that participants are meant to be seated to my left, and all other guests to the right of the middle back section.
Our poster encourages them to turn those good intentions into meaningful actions in the real world. At the bottom of our poster, we included practical solutions that everyone can start with. For example, we can set limits on our screen time so that we have more time for activities that matter. We can also spend more quality time with our family and friends.
Yeah, so for example, in like our HDB, some of the HDBs has like gardens or tropical crop, so it's to help us to like produce like more fruits. And also they have like sensors that also are I can see video of the poster.
Another point is like AI won't give you an idea or response for your things, so it makes you critical, critically think for how to solve it, like how to solve this problem. And if you're running out of ideas, or because you can't copy people, right? AI got the ideas for you. You should like take a break every 30 to 60 minutes so that you won't ruin your health and like your relationships with your family and friends and stuff like that. Like a lot of youth use their computers and devices to study, so it will ruin relationships with friends because you're always on the device and you're always like addicted to it. So like you should have a certain screen time on your phone to avoid conflicts between parents and like friends. Also like there's a lot of problems causing kids because of the phone. So like a lot lot of kids now have myopia because of using their phones. And kids keep using doom scrolling at night, and they have like less sleep at night. And they're just staying at home and they do not want to like engage with the environment outside. And like if you keep using your phone, you wouldn't want to focus in any other activities you have. So like there's a lot of disadvantages to technology. So like there's some solutions for it. Parents can set daily screen time for their kids' phone so that the kids won't be addicted to their screen time. Also there's some websites.
Our whole topic is about like everyone is consuming content but they're not making an impact. So yeah, that's the key problem that we face in today's society. Because because of convenience, it's really hard to make a whole post about an issue and research about it, and so people just end up scrolling on it and using it for entertainment purposes. So our solution is to have a question.
Yes, she was saying something, but others have to contribute as well.
I'll give solutions. Okay, the solutions are simple. First of all, starting small. Like many big creators in life, we all started small, getting critiqued and dismissed, but it still kept rising and with huge contributions to the community and society. And secondly, creation is really convenient today. I mean, we should make it more convenient, but it's actually really convenient. There's so many Instagram templates, tutorials on YouTube on how to start content creation. So all you gotta do is take a step to start. You don't even need to work that hard. You just search up a tutorial, follow it, and you can post something. And lastly, when she said about how our feed is very addictive and causes us to doom scroll even more, we just need to switch up our feed and follow creators who actually motivate us to do meaningful things in life, so we can get out of that doom scrolling phase and start creating instead.
We have 30 seconds.
Now, let me explain the left side of our poster. On the left, we encourage everyone to be present, not just online. This reminds us that real friendships and meaningful experiences happen when you spend time with people in person. We also included a simple flow showing that less scrolling leads to more connecting, which builds a stronger community and ultimately a stronger Singapore. This shows that even small lifestyle changes can create positive impact for the society.
In the center of our poster is our key message which says, "Let's fight this, stand up and show up for Singapore." This means that instead of only supporting causes online, we should take real action for the real cause. The picture beside this field shows a group of youths planting a tree together. We included it because it represents volunteering and creativity. It reminds us that small actions today can help create a stronger Singapore too. On the right side of our poster, we listed 5 ways that you can help contribute positively. Firstly is volunteer and give back, build inclusive communities, care for our environment, keep learning and growing, and lastly, speak our voices wisely. All of these actions help us become more responsible and active citizens. To show why this topic matters, we included several statistics. The first one is that we had spend time with and a lot of interactions are online, so you miss out on making memories in real life. And then you have the emotional distance, which is texting, you don't hear the tone of what someone is saying, and if you know, many people even have fights because they didn't know the tone that someone said it in. So that could be a really big emotional distance causer. And another thing is the weak quality time, which kind of links to this because you spend lesser time, you have lesser deeper conversations, and it kind of just goes to a dead end, right? Yeah.
So how can we turn screen time into together? So like, sometimes you will be able to say something. Now what I want you to do is I want you to introduce yourself to the judges. When you start talking about the poster, you have about 2.5 minutes to present about the poster, and then they'll be asking you questions. Okay? Okay, start.
So hi, I'm Jesse.
My name is Suri.
And I'm Eunice. So like, first we'll talk about healthcare. So in healthcare, technology has really helped them to diagnose and to treat patients. For example, X-rays and MRI machines help to diagnose patients. Additionally, there's also AI that use like mathematical formulas to try to deduce what conditions the patient may have and how it may progress. And as for treatment of patients, there's also like robot surgeons nowadays that can improve the accuracy and precision of surgery, which can help patients. And recently, last year we went on a trip to Singapore Hospital, and there was a singing robot that can help.
Singing
Robot, yeah. Because elderly in Singapore, they face like problems of being isolated from their family, so that they feel more connected. And also, it also moves and teach them different ways to try to keep them active.
Next is about technology. So like in schools we use like SMS platforms. So SMS platforms, so that it encourages like students to have like learning on the go, like anywhere.
Obviously, it's really difficult, right? Even us standing, look at how many of us are holding our smart devices. They're all screens. So it's definitely going to be something really difficult. And with people like Mark Zuckerberg thinking of amazing ways to get our attention, like how I said the red circle, something we don't even think twice about. It's such small tricks that it's very hard to implement. But which is why we need more of these kind of situations where we push these ideas. Like even personally, after I wrote this poster, it's really making me think about the fact that I'm losing so much of my precious time that I could have spent connecting with my family better instead of just being on my phone and saying, oh, I have work, I have submissions, this and that. So I think it's really a matter of bringing it across and showing others and people our age especially that you need to make a conscious effort to spend time with
That's a
your family.
lot of stuff. Yes, we still have to. I like one verse because that was a time when everybody, all of us used to sit at home.
Okay, team P7, the last team. Okay, these are 4 judges. Okay, so you have about 2 minutes to present, and the judges will ask you questions about it. Right? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay? Okay?
If you want to take less time, take it extra marks for taking less time.
Yeah.
Do one.
Yeah. Okay, introduce yourself first, and then you can talk for your poster.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Denisha and I'm Jessica, and our poster is about building a nation beyond the screen. Our poster explores the question, how can you contribute positively to Singapore? We chose this topic because technology has become a huge part of our daily lives, while social media helps us stay connected. We spend too much time online to lose face-to-face interaction, and not just online. This reminds us that real friendships and meaningful experiences happen when we spend time with people in person. We also included a simple that
Welcome to SG61, Building Beyond the Screens, a commemorative effort by the Parish of Christchurch together with our community partners. Now, this particular event is meant to be a platform for safe and open discussion for our very young and the young at heart at our church. Commemorating our 61st National Day, and in line with what we have previously heard from our dear Prime Minister as well, Mr. Lawrence Wong, with regard to screen usage and how we should taper and posture ourselves as a society that uses it responsibly, especially amongst our young. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will be enthralled by first posters which you had the pleasure of viewing, TED Talks, and finally a debate on this particular topic that's very close to our hearts. We will be encouraging each one of us present today to pause, think, and understand the spectrum of how using the screen can be positive and how we have to be extremely cautious. We'll look at the tapestry of how different medias come together and allow for such mediums of usage to be positive, yet exercising caution in doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce the guest of honor for this evening, allow me to say a very quick word of thanks to those who have participated in the poster competition. We had 7 posters done all together, each signifying a unique component that brings together the cumulative element of why we are here this evening. Building real relationships, building healthy digital habits, building future careers, building purpose and meaning, building community through technology, building strong families, and building a nation beyond the screen. Cumulatively, building one society using the screen responsibly. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this evening amidst us, we have the honor and pleasure of having our guest of honor, Mr. S. Devendran, JP PBS. Mr. Devendran is the Chief Executive Officer of Sri Narayana Mission, an IPC charity serving through community, elder care, and social initiatives. Previously, he served as Deputy Director, Corporate Services, and Director for Community Engagement at SINDA, with extensive experience in community partnerships and outreach. Prior to that, he had an illustrious career in the Army, serving the Singapore Armed Forces as Deputy Chief of Army Logistics Formation, and he is appointed as the Justice of Peace in recognition for his distinguished community service and awarded the Pinkat Bhakti Setia, the PBS, for his long-standing contributions to Singapore. He continues to serve on numerous national boards and advisory committees supporting community development, rehabilitation, and public service. Welcome, Mr. Devendran. Once again, a round of applause. Now, allow me to next introduce our distinguished judges very quickly. Allow me to start firstly with Associate Professor Peer from NTU. A round of applause for him, please. We have Mr. Kenneth Chan with us, who is the Chief Financial Officer of Siemens. A round of applause for him. Dr. Grace Wilson, who specializes in clinical quality. A round of applause for her, please. And last but not least, we have Dr. Ilamarasi Stefan, who is from Singapore Press Holdings, 7 Bursi section. Without further ado, allow me to dive deeper into our first judge, Mr. Associate Professor Peer. He specializes in academic excellence, career readiness, and lifelong learning, sharing on how social media and technology can become pathways to academic success, career growth, and continued learning. It is my pleasure to invite Professor Peer on stage to to say a few words. Please, Professor Pio.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be here, and I'm glad there are no slides behind me. They kept asking for slides, which I refused to bring. And they gave me 3 touch points. I'm sure it was written by NAI. Very, it was very, but I'm not going to talk about that, okay? It's not about anything to do with, I don't like these as well. Anything to do with any of the topics that is given to me, because we are always and constantly changing. It's going to be my 20th year at NTU. We have changed 3 times. That's the average in Singapore. Once in 7 years, we must change, at least a haircut, right? So what it means to people like you, youngsters like you, is that I like the way you have composed your thought process and said, screen time is the problem, yeah? But what can we do is something that you have to find yourself to. What we can do for you is to be the kind of assistants. Yeah, we always have this problem, even today at the tertiary level, about what was done by AI versus what was done by you. We have very accurate software for that. Okay, so recently we found that one of the students had done an animation, and the instructor somehow found that this looks something like somewhere, right? So I happen to be the academic integrity officer, okay? So things are brought to me, and we had to have these meetings, right? We had a meeting with this girl. Hey, your assignment looks like, she was trying to defend herself, but then she realized it is not going to happen. And the professor showed the original, and it had no relationship to the assignment, but all the movements, all the things that were happening in the animation, she had done. Then she opened up. She opened up and said, this is something that you guys also have to realize as we are going post-COVID, is mental wellness, right? We are the ones putting pressure on ourselves, and that is causing a lot of problems. Number 2, we talked about, and I saw some posters where it talked about having personal connection. Post-COVID students are the ones who are now graduating and all that. They have had problems with person-to-person relationship. So as you young people learn that it's not just about doing work from home and work from bus and work from here and there, but to be able to congregate together and to have discussion together, yeah? And we as instructors, you know, the more creative and older we get, we pretend like we're stupid, but we are not. We want you to be engaged and say, Pio is stupid, I want to find another solution. And that's what we want from the future Singaporeans, okay? So technology is at your hand. There are lots of technologies that I don't know that you know. And you already brought up all the bad points that can happen, but let's not look at the bad points. There are good points. There's one poster that talked about friendships, and I was thinking, hey, thrice a week I have these vague people wanting to be my friends. In LinkedIn, you know, they want to make it interesting. And I don't know them. And once I start asking about, they have 2 things. They just want to be my friends because they think they can get a job or something. Or they're from a finance company, so they have a reason. So I have learned to kind of look and say, these are going to be my friend. I never say no, I just say, at this point in time, I'm not going to be a friend, right? So this is going to be a friendship. Gone are the days at 5 o'clock, we throw our bags and go play football. Now you guys have other things to do with your screen. I don't deny it, but please be judicial, do justice to what we do. And again, I just want to tell you, all parents, including me, we are concerned. Yeah, and that doesn't make us stupid. If we're angry at something, it may not be the right thing. Tell us what is good. Tell us what you're doing is good. Yeah? And then we'll be able to join. I joined with my grown-up son. I play FIFA football with somebody I don't even know, okay? And that's the time I like to have fun with them for half an hour. Of course, I let in too many goals and say, Daddy, go sit down. And he plays again. So this is what I learned. You have to tell us what will work. Yeah? We're not there to stare at you and say, come out of the room. Yeah, come out of the room. We are also inside our room waiting, inside our heart, waiting for you to reach out to us. So as technology progresses, you all have to find meaningful ways of reaching out to the society, not just your friends, but to your relations, to your elders, and everybody in the world. And tell us when we think we are doing something that you think that we don't know what you're doing. So keep us informed, keep us in good humor, and we're not your, we're not on the other side of the spectrum, we're right on your spectrum. And I hope that will help you. That's all I have to say. Be with us, we need to be together. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Professor P. Satki. Now, at this juncture, we'd like to invite another judge from the panel this evening, Dr. Grace Winston.
See young faces here. Okay, that includes all of us. Okay, so before I begin, on a lighter note, let's do something fun. Let's check about us, okay? We're talking something here beyond the screen, okay? Out of your iPads, out of your handphones. So, I just want a show of hands today. If you check your phone within a few minutes of waking up, can you raise your hand? Okay, one or two. Many haven't raised their hands. Wow, so good. Okay, how many of you have slept with your phone near your bedside? Okay, that's good. You're warming up, okay. Okay, so how many of you open your phone, you intentionally want to check something, but then you wander off, and then it becomes an hour, and sometimes you even forgot what you came here for? Show of hands? Okay, it's quite a few number of us. And some of us okay, just another 5 minutes, I'm just going to get it done. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it just goes on. So we have,
Here.
I'm not able to see my, okay, right. So I'm going to ask, and we're going to dwell on 3 points today. Is your phone controlling you, or you controlling the phone? How are we going to build healthier habits? And how do we make technology work for us? So here I want to simply dwell on 3 chemicals in the brain. Okay, the brain produces certain chemicals. I'm sure all of you have heard about this. Students know about this. The older ones can recall. It's dopamine, it's cortisol, and it's melatonin. So these 3 chemicals are very important. I want to stress a bit on these chemicals. Okay, I don't want to bore you into a science lesson, but I will try my best. Daniel is giving me 5 minutes, but I'll try. Okay, so dopamine is nothing but brain's reward chemical. It's kind of a good messenger chemical. Okay, it gives you small rewards. Okay, it's good. It's not bad. It helps us for motivation. It helps us enjoy. And when we go for exercising, when we want to do something new, it gives us a burst of energy, which is all good. But it becomes a problem when we get too many signals, many dopamine signals into our brain. That's where the problem happens. Okay? And for example, you're using Insta, okay? When I first started on Insta, so now I'm no more in Insta, I'm just using that as a shopping platform. Okay, so for Insta, one of my friends told me, hey, there's something called Insta, it's going to keep you
going, it's, you can come out of your boredom. It's just going to keep you engaged. Okay, so that's how I was introduced to Insta. So the problem is, when you scroll Insta or any social media platform for the matter, it's going to give its separate algorithm. Okay, it sees what you're interested in, it's going to produce more of that. Okay, so that's how you get addicted. Your dopamine gives you those teeny tiny rewards, and there goes the addiction. And so from students' point of view, what happens here is you lose focus, you're distracted, because when you study, it's not interesting. How many of us like to study? As students, even now, how many of us really study? How many of us feel like interested to study? Okay, I just see one hand over there. And the problem with studying is, when you're going to study a book that's got no picture there, no voice there, it's very boring. And when you don't get that rewards, that's when you start going to other platforms. You immediately take your phone and you start scrolling. So that is the impact of scrolling the phone, and that's the impact of having dopamine increasing in your system. In July 2026, the MOH expert panel, they did a study and they found out 15 to 17 youngsters scroll on social media for 3 hours. Okay, it is a minimum hour range. Okay, and 1 in 6 of them, aged 10 to 20, have problematic social media issues. So now in Singapore also, it's quite alarming. Quite an alarming data. It's quite alarming number, and the numbers go up. Okay, and for girls, it's interestingly they found out that it's Instagram. For boys, maybe it's gaming platforms, and the gaming platforms are more dangerous. They're going to impact your brain, impact your thinking. So we need to see where we are heading to. So next I want to talk something about cortisol. Cortisol is nothing but your stress hormone. Okay? And this cortisol does help you to give alert state, to keep you in alert state. But what happens is, when we are going to get up in the morning and constantly look at our phones, when we're going to hear notifications, and when we are, when we have to answer that message, you get a message, you have to answer. You get a WhatsApp message, I have to answer. Okay, what happens is the brain becomes very alert. Okay, the alert level becomes very high, and that is what stresses your brain. Okay, so these are the simple things that we do every day, but has a very big impact to our central nervous system. Another interesting fact is, how many of you own lighters here? Okay, I know nobody's going to answer the part, but do you know we all own a digital lighter? You all have it, including myself. That's my phone. The phone is otherwise called as a digital lighter, and you have something that it's like a cigarette effect. So what happens is, it's equivalent to a smoker who takes the lighter and lights up the cigar every time out of boredom. Every time he feels stress, he's going to take a cigar, take the lighter and light it. That is what we do with the phones as well. So whenever we are bored, whenever we're standing in the line for a queue, sometimes even when we have loved ones nearby, we just take and we start browsing through our phones. So that is something known as the digital lighter. So in short, when you use the phone, do remember all these notifications, all the updates. Okay, keeps our brain on a heightened mode, alert mode. It's not good for you. Okay, and when you need to reply to those messages, when you need to see the notifications, you put a lot of pressure on your brain. Another thing is multitasking. Okay, we sometimes feel very proud that we multitask, especially women. I can multitask, I can do this, I can do that also. But remember, that is not good. That is also going to load a lot of stress to your brain. So we are designed to do one task at a time. Think, focus, and do one task at a time. That's why even when your son is studying, he is studying, okay, but sometimes his ears are listening also. multitasking. Instantly what happens is attention is elsewhere. It's very difficult for the students to come back. Once they go back to the studies, they're studying a topic and then something else happens. When they go back and open their books, it's very difficult for them to recall and come back studying. Okay? So these are the ill effects of scrolling, of what it does to our brain. Okay, as I'm going to wind off, I'm going to talk something very important about emotional health. I think something that you need to really think. Okay, social media. So when we're judging the posters, I think one of the posters, somebody told us about friendships, just like Mr. Pierre told us, it's about friendships. Okay, I really wonder how people can really rely on friendships and about the connect in healthcare. Okay, coming from a healthcare, we do have robots to do operations, to help the patients. For instance, in geriatric healthcare, we have robots doing the rehab exercises for the patient. Okay, and also I heard somebody talk about the teachers marking the papers. You can use AI and mark your papers. But that took me to wonder, where is the personal touch? Where is the human touch? So these days, okay, AI is good, technology is good, but we are really losing all the human touch. Okay. As I wind off, I just want to give you 2 pointers. When you go to sleep, okay, maybe you can keep your phone away. If it's very distracting for students, I don't think there's any emergency. Any emergency for the students that you really need to go and check your phone. For elderly, I understand, okay, we have aged parents, we may have some emergencies. But for students, I don't think so. You can just go back to the good old times. Those times we didn't have phone, we didn't have alarm clock, we just use a normal alarm clock. Okay, well, we proudly say our phone does everything. Our phone does the alarm clock, our phone wakes us up in the morning, everything is good. For students, I'd like to say, keep it away. Keep your alarm clock, go back to some store, buy the good old alarm clock, let that wake you up. Keep it away because it's very distracting, it's going to decrease your melatonin levels and it's not going to help you to sleep. Because the blue light from your phone is not going to let you sleep. Okay? And that is what I did last few months ago. I bought an IKEA cart, I put all my books nearby, I just kept it near my bedside. So when you're going to wind down to sleep, just remember, keep your cell phones away at least an hour. At least an hour before you sleep, you need to push all your devices away. Okay, that's very good for your brain. Okay, and physical health. Those days, yes, we used to play, we used to go outside, we used to be on the street, but nowadays, I hardly see children. Everybody's glued to their phone. Take some time. The technology helps you. Okay, we have a lot of apps, we have a lot of classes. Go join the classes, be active, okay? And more, spend time with your family. That is something that I've seen teenagers these days. The bigger your headphones get, the lesser you interact. That's what I've seen. Before the earphones were so small, then it's something like no wire, and then now it's big, now it's this big, okay? The bigger it gets, the bigger it covers your ear, there is no interaction there. I've seen, when I sit with people around, I try to talk to a youngster, the youngsters on the phone. Sometimes I'm really curious, like what are they listening, like 24 hours glued to the headphones, I'm really curious. What are you even listening, Okay, you can listen for an hour or 2. Yeah, somebody's signaling, I'm finished. So the bigger your headphones get, it's always a problem. Sit with your family, and another important thing is, do not go to the system or the social media when you have a problem. When you have any problem, any emotional problem, any problem with your friends, the social media is not a friend for you in that concept, okay? Go to your parents, go to your grandparents. There are pastors here to help. Come to them for help, they know better. They know you as a person, so please go to them, okay? So these are my simple takeaway points, okay? So I hope after listening to this, you will interact more. Be physically present, okay? Connect with the hearts and not on the phone. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank Dr. Grace Vincent for bringing to us the statistics, facts, figures. Now, without further ado, we've come to the TED Talk segment. And as we pivot ourselves to listen to 3 very interesting speeches, allow me at this juncture to introduce the very first speaker for this evening. We have Teresa Evangel Manasseh, a 21-year-old political science student at Singapore Management University, and today she invites us to look beyond the screen time and notifications and explore how our growing dependence on our phones may be shaping our minds, perspectives, and what the future beholds for us. So without further ado, may I invite you to put your hands together to invite our very first speaker for the TED Talk segment.
Everybody, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is we are the last generation in the family photo who can still remember what a room felt like before every seat faced a screen. The good news is that makes us the control group. We know the difference between what was healthy and what we've become. But first, a confession. While we have the power to change this, we are also part of the problem. So let's start with ourselves. When was the last time you stood in a queue without reaching for your phone? Or lay in bed with nothing but your own thoughts, or even walking around? Most of us are struggling to remember, and that's because waiting became scrolling, boredom became a For You page, and silence became something we can barely tolerate. We did not choose this, it just became natural for all of us. But should we accept phone dependence as our new normal? Look at this image here. I'm sure you've met a kid like this before. They are called the iPad kids. And we love laughing at them, maybe even judging them. They are the kid who can't eat unless YouTube is playing, and they melt down the moment you take their screen away. And sometimes we look at their parents and we wonder, wow, they're really spoiling that child. But are we really so different from iPad kids? If we left our phones at home while going somewhere, we panic instantly, or maybe we open Instagram for 5 minutes and we lose 40. I'm saying the only real difference between us and the iPad kid is they cry when the iPad is taken away, and we've just learned to hide it better. So my point is this: we've become far more dependent on our devices than we realize. And if we are asking whether this should become our new normal, I don't think the answer is yes. Here's why. First, it's changing how we think. Dr. Gloria Mark's research shows that our average attention on one screen has dropped from 2.5 minutes to just 47 seconds. And after we are interrupted on a task, for example, it takes around 25 minutes to fully regain focus again. And that is a consequence we are dealing with by our own fault. It's also changing our behavior. Teens today spend over 7 hours a day on screens, and that's more than many of us spend sleeping. With this, psychiatrist Anna Lemke argues that modern society has made us uniquely vulnerable to addiction. But for many of us, this addictive substance isn't alcohol or drugs, it's the device in our pocket. Every swipe, refresh, and notification taps into the brain's dopamine reward system as we await the next scroll. And the result is, we don't just use our phones anymore, we constantly feel compelled to check them. But I think the greatest cost of phone dependence is our relationships. We've never been more connected online, yet many people report feeling lonelier than ever. We sit together while looking at different screens, we text instead of talking, and if strong relationships are the greatest predictor of happiness, then this isn't just about us losing conversation skills. It is about losing one of the things that makes life meaningful, and that's relationships. So no, phone dependence should not become the new normal, especially when today's phones are in our pockets and tomorrow they may be smart glasses. Now you might be thinking, but technology has helped us so much, and you are right. It has helped us to learn, work, create, and stay connected. But I'm questioning this. At what point does a helpful tool become something we can't function without? You see, if we accept phone dependence and do nothing to change it, then one day, maybe in 2081, there'll be a family gathering with 3 generations in one room. Us Gen Z, now grandparents. Our children, the iPad kid generation, all grown up and raising children of their own. And they are kids, a generation we haven't even met yet. Maybe Micah Tata is in the middle of telling a story when his smart glasses quietly feed him a notification. And he pauses, loses his train of thought, and drifts away. His son doesn't even look up. He's scrolling on the latest device, just as he has always done since he was born. And the grandchildren sit there watching. To them, this is what a family conversation looks like. People together, but never fully present. They've never seen anything different. And that's what should scare us, not that the future looks broken, but that this looks completely normal. Right now, we still have parents and grandparents who can remind us what life looked like before phones took over every quiet moment. But one day, they'll be gone. And we'll be the ones setting the example. If we keep treating phone dependence as normal, then that is exactly what the next generation will follow. And at the rate we are going, and how every generation copies the one before it, we'll slowly forget what it means to be fully present with the people right in front of us. So this was never really a talk about how phones are evil. The truth is, technology will always surround us. But remember this, every generation teaches the next what love looks like. Ours just has to decide whether it will be through a screen or across a table. Be the interruption. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, for bringing to us a wonderful speech about cross-generational impacts. And indeed, a grandfather with iPads and AI glasses is not too distant a future. With that, allow me now to invite the second speaker for the TED Talks segment this evening, Ivana Carlin, a 16-year-old who studies at DPS International School, and she is going to speak to us on this topic, Cyber Smart, Staying Safe in the Digital Age, protecting yourself from scams, fake news, and online risks.
My name is Ivana Calden, shortly known as IC. Well, before we get into the topic, let's look at the statistics for last year. So last year's statistics says that 37,000 people have actually lost $1 billion nearly due to scams. Well, we might think it's normal, but what are we doing to prevent it? Welcome to the topic, which is staying cyber smart, staying safe in the digital age, and protecting yourselves from scams, fake news, and online risks. Well, what is the reality we ignore? Well, it's blind trust in technology. We use technology, but we don't know how to use it. It's all new. Everyone is interested in new technologies. But what about virtual friendships? People are not interested in person-person relationships anymore. It's all through the phone, all virtual and all in social media. Ignoring the red flags, we are all just doom scrolling on the phone and also just ignoring the messages that come on the SG messages app saying that, oh, you've won a lottery. And then you literally think that, oh, we can just ignore it later, just leave it. And addiction to digital habits is definitely a thing all the teenagers face. You give them a phone and they always go to games or social media. So the question we have to ask is, why are we an easy target? Why are we vulnerable to scams? So the key root causes, we see these messages almost every day. Well, it's just the same thing. Scams, fake news, and online risk, your SIM pass is expired. It's all the same problem. Well, let's come to the key root causes. You imagine you get a call from the MOE and saying that, oh, you've got, your SIM pass is expired. Please, you're going to get kicked out of Singapore. Please, please register now to this link. And they also create a fake identity, which is you ask them who you are, and they say, I am who I am, and you are who you are. So they don't technically reveal their identity. And the fake urgency they get, it's another problem. You ask them, how much time do you need this? Within a day or 24 hours. That's the time they give. And while saying that, you get distracted. Oh, I have to do this priority and I have to make this has the most priority, so I have to do this first. And they also take control of your fear and kindness and your emotions, which, oh my God, can you please give a 10 cents for African people which are suffering in Africa in this region? But you don't know if they're actually suffering or not. Which is, you can just verify through this link, but you don't know if that link is also true or not. So let's come to, and also scammers don't hack your phone, they hack your trust, most important. So now let's come to the cost or impacts. What are we losing? We are mostly losing the peace of mind, and also the health, happiness, time, money, and your respect. And also the solution is you should stop, think, and verify. When a stranger comes to your house, what do? You don't just open the door like that, okay, come in. But you verify, oh, is the person I'm expecting? Or is the person I'm not expecting? So if it's not the person you're expecting, don't open the door. The same thing applies to the cyber smart habits, which is if you think the link is not right, don't open it. Then it's the strong password. Do not keep your name, birthday, or your marriage date or whatever on the password and then get easily hacked. And also put a one-time password, which is a multi-level authentication, saying that, oh, okay, if my password gets hacked or if my account gets hacked, I can do another way of retrieving it back. And also keep everything updated. And also share less, stay safer. This happens mostly on social media. So you say you post a reel and say that, oh, I'm going to 5 days trip on Malaysia and I'm not going to be there in my home. It's all alone. No parents are there. You can come and rob my house. It's free. So something like that. And then spot it, report it. Please, you should actually remember to spot and report it. Please use the scam shield number 1799. You should definitely do it because they care more about your personal data than they care about anything else. So whenever you get a scam, just report it. The next is the key takeaways. What did we take away after this presentation? Cybersecurity is a life skill for the digital age, but most people think that cybersecurity is only for the IT experts. But according to me, it's a life skill. It's an essential skill that everyone has to learn. And also remember that awareness is your digital superpower. It's about you staying aware, not about how you actually tackle the problem, but before the problem tackles you, you should know how to avoid the problem. And also, technology is a good servant, but has its master. We should control it through our good judgment. We should be be aware, stay happy, and happy SG61. Thank you.
Last but not least, this evening we'd like to invite our third speaker for the TED Talk segment, Keegan Colwell, a 15-year-old who studies right now in St. Andrews Secondary School. And this evening, Keegan will bring to us his speech about AI and whether it is a threat or an opportunity.
Hello everyone, my name is Keegan, I'm 15 years old, and I will be presenting to you all about AI. Is it a threat or is it an opportunity? Let's find out. Imagine this, one day my phone buzzes. It's not a WhatsApp message, nor is it an Instagram message. Go back to the previous slide. It's a message from me, not today's me, the 30-year-old version of me. It says, I am living the life you're creating right now. Please don't be afraid of AI, but don't let it think for you either. And that got me wondering, if my future self were to ever reach out to me, what would he have to say? Here are 4 messages that support this. Next slide. Learn AI. Don't compete against it. My future self would not want me to ignore AI. He would want me to understand it. People who learn to work with AI won't just survive, they'll lead. And our second message, don't let AI replace your thinking. Be the one who decides. AI can answer questions, but it can't decide what's right. It can't dream your dreams. It can't decide your values. My future self would want me to remain curious, to question, and to think critically. Our third message, develop the skills AI can never copy. AI can calculate, but can it truly care? My future self would want me to grow in empathy, creativity, leadership, integrity, and wisdom. These top 5 traits are what make us uniquely human. Our fourth message, use AI to make people's lives better. It's a tool for growth, not a shortcut. Don't use AI to cheat, use it to learn. Don't use AI to avoid effort, use it to solve problems. Technology should make us more human, not less. One last message. Thank you for choosing growth over fear, because AI was never the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge was deciding who I wanted to become. People often ask whether AI is a threat or an opportunity. My future self would answer differently. He would say, AI is a tool. It all depends on whether you use it to become kinder, wiser, and more courageous. My future self won't thank me for having the best AI. He'll thank me for becoming the best version of myself. And that is a future worth creating. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we'd like to invite another one of our esteemed judges, Mr. Kenneth Chan. Mr. Kenneth Chan is the CFO of Siemens, who is actively involved in future workplace development. He will be sharing practical insights into how smartphones, AI, and digital technologies are transforming industries and preparing the young of today for the future of tomorrow. Without further ado, Mr. Kenneth Chan, please.
Thank you. Siemens is a 179 years old company. And what Pierre had mentioned before, how it survived has been about transformation. Transformation, making yourself relevant. Now, in my role as CFO of Siemens, I'm responsible for governance, ensuring asset allocation is most effective, but more and more so, digitalization, leading people in transformation, especially in the future of finance, has become a very, very key role in a CFO. So we call it also the digital CFO. Slide. Technology is changing, and we know it's changing very, very fast. More so, if we look back over 20 years ago, we have seen that many of the physical usage of paper meetings has radically changed over time. We talk about a revolution. We're talking about the 5th revolution. We started off with the first revolution being mechanized, and now we are in the time period which is extremely important because it impacts so many people at the end of the day. In Siemens, we have used technology for the better of our industrial customers. When we build factories, we build in a virtual world first of all. By using a virtual space
in developing and designing, we actually reduce waste, it becomes more sustainable, reduces reworks, saving resources, and ultimately interconnectivity becomes extremely important. We use technology and software which in this virtual space to also innovate. And we use that in healthcare, for an example, where we are using physics in a virtual world to design products, create software for healthcare, finding the medical solutions that are needed for everyday lives. So our motto within Siemens today is technology for the everyday. And it's critical for us because we find that with everything that is changing, we can make a better world in terms of sustainability, in terms of creating efficiency, in terms of resources that are needed in this space, in terms of the industrialization world. Next slide. Smartphones has always been one key topic that has been used also within our organization. And a message here is whether you use your smartphone for the greater purpose or for a poorer use of it. Examples have been learning new skill sets, using AI in terms of finding and develop or creating understanding, building up your own knowledge. So today, I myself use it very much in terms of AI to have a better path in which I discuss and I talk to the phone to find out more things that can be actually useful and be more productive for myself. It's a topic we heard and in the posters, it's also about connectivity. And we within Siemens, very important topic is about being interconnected within our organization. We are over 200,000 more of people in the workforce, and we need to stay always connected and are collaborating. And that's where technology, smartphones can really help us. Obviously, poor use is something that we want to avoid, and it's something that has come out also in terms of the discussion that mental wellness, losing that social capabilities by spending too much on the phone. So be aware, be relevant, be conscious of why you use technology at the end of the day, but staying human, being able to spend time with family and friends, because we still need this humanity touch in there. In terms of what the company is now looking for these days, we are becoming a very more flat organization. What skill sets that we need, critical thinking, people that can solve problems, communication becomes so much more important in a flat organization. Storytelling becomes very important in an organization itself. Collaboration, being able to influence people, because it's no longer a hierarchical structure. We need to be able to collaborate, influence people, to being able to come to a vision and also an ability to get results at the end of the day. Adaptability becomes also another important factor because things are changing so fast. We need to stay resilient, but adaptability is needed in every new employee that we engage with because things are changing extremely fast. Curiosity is always needed. We always need to question ourselves. Even today, when we automate things, we need to continue to be curious and to ask the question, why? Why are we doing these things? And that's a very important step for you young learners that this whole topic about curiosity is a very key aspect. And lastly, but not the least, is about integrity. Integrity is something that the company values, and it's a social standing for the community in large and also for the organization. So my challenge to you, and this is my last slide, is one, continue to learn. It's always important that we are always learning. The day we stop learning, I always tell my employees, find something else to learn. Never stay in a position too long where you're not learning. Second is being able to create something. I think creating something is the first start. It's never an issue making mistakes. It's always the importance about learning at the end of the day. And by doing that, you need to start. And by doing something that you can create is the best way to start learning. And the third part is about contribution. At the end of the day, we, myself, are all looking at areas where how we can make use and make impact to society at large. And that's really critical for us. So technology gives you the tools, but character determines how you use them. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we will shortly begin the debates. The third and final component for this evening. The topic sentence come problem for this evening is, do social media and smartphones help young people live better? Allow me to reiterate that. Do social media and smartphones help young people to live better?
Vanakkam. Good evening to everybody present here. So now we are coming to the concluding session for the day. So to talk in front of you all, I take this opportunity as a very important part, because right now we are talking to the youth. We have been hearing so much of lamentations from them. I see all of us are putting the blame, dropping the blame on the phones. Poor phones, they don't do anything. It's we who do everything. And all the while we have been seeing the phone is doing this, the phone is doing that. Okay, never mind. So, let me just wish you all one more time sitting at this premises. So, good evening to our debaters, to our esteemed judges at the panels. We have Professor Pierre, Dr. Grace, and Mr. Kenneth, and also the guest of honor, Mr. Devendran. Also reverend pastors and young people, parents. Good evening to all of you. And before we begin, even if I'm going to ask you to do this, or even if I'm not going to ask you to do this, you all are going to do one thing, which is you're going to look at your phone for 5 seconds. So this small rectangle in our hand holds more computing power than what sent man to the moon. It holds your classroom, it holds my newsroom, it holds the churches, your friend circle, your entire world. In one swipe, you can learn the quantum of physics, and in the next swipe you can fall into an endless scroll. I don't know whether you all are reading newspapers or not. If at all you're going to bring your memory back, look at Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, India, Ukraine, Russia. One movement, one messages from the youngsters, our recent days are reshaping the government, are reshaping the demography, reshaping the attitude of the citizens. The policy makers, the leaders have no clue where is this gigantic power is coming from. And that's where I sit, because my job is to, being the correspondent at TM, I also write for Straits Times, Scots sometimes. So this is where we sit and we are just watching what does this IG do. People are asking me, do you know IG? Actually, I'm not on any social media. So when they ask me IG, because my toolbox is my diary and a pen. When people see me carrying this diary and pen these days, they look at me as an alien. Where are you coming from? Where is your phone like that? But this actually holds a lot of memories. So yes, so ladies and gentlemen, the paradox that we are debating today is, do social media and smartphones help young people live better? And I want to tell you why this debate matters more is because this is not a debate about technology. As one of our presenters have been talking, technology has been existing, for many decades, for centuries. But there is this hype I could see now, unwanted hype, I don't know what to call us. So this is a debate about you, your attention, your mental health, your future. I come to you as Dr. Ila Varasi Stephen, you can call me Ila. So for almost 10-15 years, I have interviewed presidents, including FKY, S.R. Nathan, Abdul Kalam, Michelle Obama, Pope Francis, so even now our PM Lawrence Wong. So many opportunities. We have reported from conflict zones and watched how one piece of information can start a movement or start a fire. And in every single story, one thing was clear: information without wisdom is dangerous. Access without responsibility is chaos. So today, you, the debaters, will deliberate, will discuss, will argue. So Team A will tell us how smartphones democratize education, gave voice to the voiceless, proposition. Team B is going to talk about how they created anxiety, how they created misinformation and the digital isolation, or though it is an unparliamentary word, it's an information diarrhea which is happening across the globe. So they force us to think. So as we begin, I ask everyone in this room to do 3 things. Listen with an open mind, argue with facts, not feelings please, only facts, and leave with more questions that you came with. Because the verdict we reach today is not about who win or lose, it's about whether we as a society are ready to raise a generation that can scroll with purpose and speak with integrity. So now I invite the speakers, the star of the show, to just please come on the dais and please take your seat. We have 3, Hazel, Haniel, Alia, Dan, Sujit, and Marcus. Let us put a big round of applause. Proposition takes the place on my right, opposition on the left. So the first speaker is here, yeah, second, okay. Great. Thank you so much. So before we begin, look at the phone in your hand, is it? No, don't look at the phone in your hand. So it can teach you, it can connect you, it can build you, but at the same time it can break you. Right? So let us argue with purpose, responsibility, and truth. Debaters, the floor is yours. And as usual, let me just give you the basic order and time limits. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. A warning bell will be, first bell will be at 2 minutes 30 seconds, final warning bell will be at the last 3 minutes. If you're going to overtalk, please stop, but mark will be given. And initially we had this part where we wanted to allow objections and interventions, but because of the time constraints and all the episodes took more time, I was directed not to include the segment of objections. Okay, I hope you all don't object to it. Great, thank you so much. Sounds good. So, code of conduct and judging, please maintain professional courtesy. I'm sure AI is maintaining that, so let us also maintain that. Okay? And the content, please focus mainly, entirely, and no feelings, no emotions can, but don't put the entire blame on phone. Because we go and we do everything, and finally it's like, who gave you the apple? It is Eve who gave me the apple. Like that. No, cannot. So yes. So relevances, please must stay strictly on topic, and the decision of the judging panel is final and binding. I also have a humble request to the audiences. You're all the way here. Whenever they give some good points, yes, please do appreciate them. That matters a lot. That is the only difference, that we are presenting to human beings, not to the AI. The AI is going to record us from everywhere, but it is the presence of you that is going to create a huge impact for our youth. And yes, without much ado, let us start the day, and I will invite Miss Hazel, and yes, you can talk one line, you can say a few words about you, which I'm not going to count, and then your time for 3 minutes will start. And my timer for the day is, please come and introduce yourself. Hey, okay. Okay, great. So we are going to start the show now. Yes.
Testing. Okay. Well, my name is Hazel. I'm 26 this year, and I am currently working as a marketing executive at a retail company, and I graduated in psychology and communications. Okay, so I can start now. Respected judges, fellow speakers, and everyone present, good afternoon. Today we stand here with the proposition of the motion, social media and smartphones help young people live better. We define young people, or youth, as those aged between 15 to 35 as per the National Youth Council in Singapore. And by smartphones and social media, we mean any personal, portable, internet-connected device and the apps used to connect on it. And by live better, we mean achieving a higher quality of life by receiving greater access to connection, emotional support, knowledge, opportunity, and practical help. Now, I want you to imagine a world where a teenager in a remote village can learn computer science from a Harvard professor for free. Now, imagine a world where an isolated, marginalized youth can find a life-saving support group at 2 a.m. with just a single tap. Imagine a world where a child walking home alone is never truly alone because they're shielded by real-time safety networks. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need to imagine this world because we live in it. The opposition will try to paint smartphones and social media as distracting toys. But the proposition today will prove that these technologies are the greatest tools for psychological well-being, education, empowerment, and opportunity in all of human history. They don't just help young people survive, they help them live better. In fact, you don't even have to look that far for proof. Every speaker on both teams almost certainly used a smartphone to prepare for tonight's argument, including the case against them. Today, I will focus on the connection and psychological well-being, while our second speaker will take us through education, creativity, and opportunity. Social media and smartphones meet the third most important need based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the need to belong. Young people are still discovering who they are and where they fit. Positive interaction helps them feel seen, accepted, and supported. A 2025 Pew Research Center survey found that 74% of teenagers said social media made them feel more connected to their friends, and 52% said it helped them feel like they had people who support them through difficult times. That support matters. Reaching someone you trust means processing what you feel and not carrying it alone. The opposition might say, yeah, you know what, online communication can't replace face-to-face relationships. Oh, we agree. Sending a crying face emoji is definitely not the same as sitting beside someone who is actually crying. But we're not arguing that it should replace that moment. It's what gets you to it. It's the video call from 3 time zones away that tells you your friends and family are here for you. Our opponents will try to frame this as an all-or-nothing trade-off, claiming that digital connection destroys real-world intimacy. But the reality is that these tools don't replace our physical lives. They extend them, enrich them, and safeguard them, while a physical presence might be impossible. Smartphones and social media ensure that no young person ever has to be alone and can always find a community where they belong. For these reasons, the proposition must stand. Thank you.
Promotion coming from the audience side. Thank you so much. That really enriches the mood of the speakers here. So I'm not going to talk anything after every speaker, but everything is recorded. Thank you so much, Hazel. So yes, they have given their point, but definitely we cannot accept it, isn't it? We do have the right of reply. Yes. So with all due respect, let me call from a position. Yes, Mr. Dan. Yes, stage is yours.
Hello. Hi guys, before I start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dan, and I'm studying a diploma in business administration, and I'm 17 years old. So, I agree with them on the definitions. And before I start, I'd like to emphasize that whatever we talk about today is within the bounds of young people, which we define as 15 to 35-year-olds, the same as the Singapore government. We do not rebuke social media or the use of smartphones. Rather, we think it should be used with great caution and responsibility. So my first point for you today is, heavy reliance on social media can reduce opportunities to develop real-world communication skills. Parents, do you remember a time before smartphones, when the only way to spend time with friends was to meet them in person? The facial and vocal study says that face-to-face communication is only made up of 7% of words. The rest involve non-verbal and verbal communication traits. And yes, credits to Hazel, she did point out that we could use video calls. But let's be honest, most of us text anyways. And when we text, it limits our exposure to these important traits. A study published by the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found that heavier social media users were significantly more likely to feel socially isolated despite being more digitally connected than ever. And the Health Promotional Journal of Australia found that greater social media use is associated with increased sedentary behavior among young people. The World Health Organization warns that a sedentary lifestyle increases the risk of obesity, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and several cancers. My second point is, excessive use of social media can reduce attention span. Young people, raise of hands, which one of you can read a minute, which one of you can watch a minute-long reel without using the 2 times feature? In the start of social media, platforms like YouTube popularized long-form video content. However, recently, TikTok transformed social media by making algorithm-driven short-form videos, which became the dominant way of how people consume content. It's convenient, but it's associated with many cognitive downsides. A systemic review published by the European Child and Adolescent Society analyzed 42 studies, including over 46,000 young people, and found that heavy short-form video usage is consistently associated with poorer attention, weaker working memory, and reduced self-regulation. And since social media encourages frequent checking, users are more likely to get distracted in their work. Attention researcher Gloria Mark found that after an interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully regain focus. And researchers from NTU and a Singapore-based research agency surveyed more than 500 young people and their parents. The study found that prolonged social media use is associated with teens reporting having difficulties in sustaining focus, increased emotional fatigue, and behaviors resembling addiction. Thank you.
So then is now, I myself am just looking, should I just go back and do an article, because you said that cancer, so many illnesses because of AI technology, and also it interrupts people at work. But I'm just wondering, didn't this all exist even before that? but it doesn't mean I'm supporting you. I'm just sharing my thoughts. So yes, so now let me just go back to our team. So I invite Hanian. Yes, please. Your time starts.
Can I introduce myself first? Okay, so I'm Henio. I'm studying at NUS High School, and now I'll just start. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Now as the second speaker, I'll be focusing on how social media benefits teenagers, particularly in the terms of education, learning, and creativity, and opportunity. Firstly, social media is an incredibly powerful learning tool. Platforms like Instagram and YouTube are filled with short, engaging content that teaches real practical skills. For example, you can find reels that show you how to bake desserts, how to make drinks, or even tips and tricks for studying. Personally, I apply these tips and tricks to my daily life, and they have been really useful. And this shows how social media expands our awareness of the world. Like, you can even learn about the news while just doom scrolling. And yes, fake news exists, but we can take our time to fact check it. So if you believe fake news, it's not really Instagram's fault, it's your fault. More broadly, social media makes learning accessible and affordable. Traditional lessons, like for example learning the guitar, is very expensive, like $40 per session. And many people are struggling financially, so they can't afford these lessons. But online, there are countless tutorials free on YouTube that allows teenagers to learn at their own pace. This means anyone, regardless of their financial situation, can pick up new skills simply by searching for them. According to Pew Research Center, 59% of teenagers said that YouTube helped them learn a new skill, whether it's cooking, coding, or playing an instrument, or simply studying for school. Now, some may argue that the internet also exposes teenagers to harmful content, or reduces their attention span, like what you said. And we must understand, yeah, these issues are not new, but just as we regulate harmful content in the real world, we can regulate it online through guidelines and restrictions, and help teenagers use social media wisely, so that it doesn't affect them mentally. Moreover, social media helps teenagers discover new interests organically. You don't even have to search for something. You can just be doom scrolling one day and you'll see a reel that sparks up an interest in you. Like for example, like an art or craft, or a cool video edit that makes you want to learn about video editing. And this interest pushes you in the right direction and causes you to create something meaningful and actually have purpose in your life. Finally, social media provides a platform for creativity and self-expression. There are millions of short films on YouTube that have gained a lot of recognition and even won awards. And without YouTube, these creators would have joined big companies and paid a hefty fee to even get their movies out in the real world. And this would cause them to not be spread out that far. In conclusion, social media isn't just for entertainment. It's for learning, creativity, and opportunity. When used properly, it empowers teenagers to grow. So use it wisely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So they are speaking about the time that was spent, but on the other side, these people are talking about the time that was invested. So when they talk about spending, they talk about investing, and yes, that makes a big difference. So yes, we are going to hear much more. So let me invite speaker 2, Mr. Sujit. You can give a small intro about yourself, and then please proceed with the talk.
Ready? I'm Sujit. I'm currently studying a diploma in aviation management at Temasek Poly, and I'm 17 this year. So I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Social media provides a false sense of reality, and according to the theory of social comparison, which was initially put forward by psychologist Leonard Friedricher in 1954, people are naturally motivated to assess their opinions and skills by contrasting them with those with others. The process has been accelerated by social media, which makes it possible to compare instantly with hundreds or even thousands of other people. Social media comparison is especially troublesome because users tend to show highly managed, edited versions of their life, which psychologists refer to as highlight reels. Research continuously demonstrates links between excessive social media use and diminished self-worth, increased discontent with one's body. This is very popular with the looks maxing trend, which is happening recently. Increased nervousness in social situations and increased loneliness. A 2020 meta-analysis published in Journal of Affective Disorders evaluated 43 researchers, including over 50,000 people, and discovered a substantial link between social media usage and depressive symptoms, with social comparison acting as a crucial factor. Secondly, social media isn't a land of truth and contains malicious users. According to the Ministry of Digital Development and Information Analysis, over 4 out of 5 Singaporeans said they have come across harmful web content in the year 2024. That's 80%. They discovered that the most commonly seen dangerous content was that it was promoted by unlawful action, such as scams. This was followed by sexual content, violent content, cyberbullying, and content that sparked racial and religious tensions, radicalization. Participants have experienced hazardous online content at least several times per month. Everyone, recall a time you experienced something that you didn't want to see, or fell for a scam. Fake scam or a deep fake scam, news. These could be fake financial influencers who give bad or even possibly dangerous advice. The UNESCO behind the screen survey examined 500 influencers across 45 countries. The study found that 63% of influencers lack rigorous fact-checking protocols despite their significant impact on public discourse. And to address Speaker's Two's point on we can fact-check our content, who really fact-checks their content? I ask everyone here, do you really fact-check your content or what you see every single day? Thank you.
Right, so just now we heard from the opposition team, but what really comes to my mind when I'm hearing these youngsters talking is, they were talking about the scams, isn't it? But the scam, yes, it is carried out using AI or technology as a medium, but there is an intelligent mind that is sitting behind it. And that intelligent human being, I think that's where the values, we have to really think about. Is it there, as our PM always speaks and our DPM reiterates, and I'm sure all the professors and educators do reiterate. I mean, there is this human element which cannot be replaced by AI. AI does whatever we prompt. If we prompt it to ask for a good thing, yes it does. Sometimes we use it for a bad thing, yes it does. So there are so many points that is being sold today. Thank you so much for bringing that to the table. So now we will go back to the final and the concluding speaker from the opposition team. We have Ms. Alia here. And being the final speaker, you're going to nail out the points. So we give you 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Likewise, the final speaker from this side will also get that. So use it wisely. So your last chance to tell us AI is wrong.
Hi, okay, before the time starts, I'm Alia, Dinesh Alia, and I'm a bioengineering and business double major undergrad student at MTU currently. So I can start. So before anything, I'd like to get into what the judge was saying. Sorry to call you out, but actually the topic is not about AI. So I think the argument of AI shouldn't stand in this conversation because. Yeah, and so I'll get into talking about what Hazel said first. So Hazel had brought up the point about how it can be used for education, right? So Personally, as we take the context of Singapore, we all have been given PLDs in the current generation, and hence I don't understand the need for a smartphone when you have the PLDs for your educational purposes. So I think the point of education shouldn't be brought across for smartphone usage. And another one she had brought across was to be able to talk to people. I would like to reiterate that the topic is smartphones. It does not say anything about phones. And okay, like our old like BlackBerry and all, they were able to communicate via SMS messages, and they were also able to make calls. So I believe that that point also doesn't stand. And then I would like to talk about how Haniel had said that you can learn new things online, right? Which is great. I acknowledge that you can learn things like cooking and stuff online. But as a professional dancer, I can tell you that you cannot be a professional dancer if you're going to learn from me online. Because at the end of the day, you need a teacher to sit on the other side, watching you do things and telling you what is wrong. Because simply watching someone do it doesn't mean that you can do it at the same time. And I would also like to bring up the fact that we are not saying that social media is bad. Because obviously everything is a double-edged sword, and that's why we're here to debate about it. And so we think that we should find common ground, where everything should be used within line with the right controls. So another point I'd also like to bring up is that the attention span point, right? So another thing that social media genuinely influences is, I'd like to bring up the point that my teammate Dan had brought up. How many of us can really sit through a reel and not use it on 2 times as a youth today? I personally cannot, and you know what's even better? Not only did they shorten long videos to reels and then reels to 2 times speed, we now even can lock it at 2 times speed so that we don't have to hold it the whole time. You know, everything just becomes so convenient, and our attention spans get shorter and shorter. Did you know there's a survey done by the King's College? So don't tell me that these are kids who are not motivated to study. They're really, really smart people. And they were given an option to try to stop using their phones so often. And you know what? All of them, every single one of them, over the time period of 1 week, ended up being distracted by their phone again and again, despite having given rewards as to not taking their phones. And another thing I would like to bring up is that this was not a point brought up, but I'm gonna just say it like that. There's a lot of, I like how you brought up the fact that we keep talking about scams, right? So the thing is, obviously someone mentioned that you can raise awareness through using like online platforms, right? But you need to think about the flip side. There are many people who push awareness for the right reasons and use it for the wrong things. There are multiple occasions where online they push for propaganda like, oh, people are starving in Africa, donate just 10 cents, 20 cents. And how many of these are really real? And how many of them can you really verify? I know you said that you can verify it and fact check it and do it right, but how would you know? They would make it so realistic, they find every scam for you, and you are gonna fall for it. So yes, social media is able to push the right things, but we cannot discount the fact that it also pushes the wrong things. Thank you.
Yes, so I would like to reiterate the title. Does it improve our life or not? That is the major thing. And gone are those days. I'm still waiting where someone could really talk about does it improve our life or not? When you talk about life, what is there? Let us give a deep thought. I'm not going to talk about it. Aside, I really appreciate the question that she raised. Yes, you can learn the steps of dance on the YouTube, but you cannot learn the feeling of dance. And that applies to so many other jobs as well. But again, improvement, it matters the most. So let me see if anyone is going to touch on that point. So yes, and also after this, when the judges are computing the scores, we have a small brief session for the audience who have been really making this debate so special and so meaningful. You may also share your thoughts. So I'm just leaking the question paper to you almost 3 minutes in advance, so please get prepared. So when the mics come to the floor, please don't say, oh, I have people from behind, so yeah, can be 1 or 2. So we see how. So without much ado, I'm humbled and privileged to invite the final speaker for the day, Mr. Marcus from Proposition, to please give us the thoughts on this.
Okay, hi, I'm Marcus. Good afternoon, judges and
I would like to summarize what my fellow speakers have said so they're all very clear. We have believed that through the use of phones, teens are now able to inform themselves and connect in ways unimaginable maybe 60 years ago. In terms of connectivity, studies have shown that having phones not only lets teens connect with their friends on a deeper and different level than before, it also helps to form a place where they are more comfortable reaching out when they require help. The opposition has said that the argument may they may have said, or some people may say, that it detaches the emotion behind a heart-to-heart talk or meeting up to hang out. We do not deny that. I personally can relate to feeling almost an inhuman detachment to my peers when I didn't own a phone in P3. No one would ever really even glance at me in the mornings because I didn't have Call of Duty on my phone. But therein lies the problem. And this applies to everything else from phone usage, phone with peers and social media, is that our devices are inherently a tool, and it depends on the way that we use it with our friends, with our peers, with our colleagues, with our family, right? Think about like a hammer can nail a painting up to a wall or it can kill a man. So it's that kind of thing. It's a tool that all of us need to learn how to use. Like, I recently graduated. I go to ITE. All my friends are all across different streams, different schools, different ITEs. But I still call one of my friends every single night. We call, we play games all night. And then he feels more comfortable asking me, here we go, I need your help to collect this, I need you to collect that, what do you want for your birthday? Because we are so connected, we talk every day. I don't deny that, you can use it to get addicted, get distracted, but it's the way you use it by yourself. You also said that it's decreasing our attention span. I mean, the solution to a complex world, that kind of thing, is not to isolate the youth from it, but to teach them how to navigate it. So you need to learn how to manage your screen time, which builds up self-regulation and digital literacy skills that are definitely mandatory for a 21st century workforce. So removing the tech leaves them completely unprepared for a world that they can't navigate. And on the information side, like we said, the internet social media has made it so much easier to learn anything from history, geography, music theory, celebrity news, baking, knitting, anything you wish to know is just one click away. And like you did touch on, that the issue comes up with just the sheer amount of things you can actually find. I mean, I can just as easily figure out how to make an origami swan as the instructions on how to make a pipe bomb, right? But and then there's also the problem of misinformation and disinformation. It's just as easy to tell someone about how to, do your work than it is to spread false information or malicious lies. But that's where users need to be careful and watch how they view things. Like you were saying that it might be hard to fact check these things, and it's not wrong. It is difficult to fact check these things. But the issue comes up not when we find it difficult to fact check things, but we don't fact check at all. That's where the issue is. It's not us not knowing something, because you can always ask a peer. I ask my friends about if things are true all the time. Is this AI? Is this true? Is this guy lying? But the issue comes up if I look at it and just go, oh, must be true. Is that it? Okay. Thank you.
Like you did for the other speakers. So one more time for Marcus. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the judges are completing it, but let me share whatever thoughts that I was quickly taking notes and also typing in my phone. So what we see is technology everywhere. Yes, definitely we have to move with the world, if not they are going to leave us behind. Because by the time I talk about AI, there's another, yesterday we had a meeting where there was another friend of mine was asking me, do you know what is BI? I was like, I'm just navigating what is AI, what is this BI? Then they say BI is business intelligence, now we are going to make sure AI complements BI. Then I was like, oh my god, okay, I think I'm in the last train now, so like that. So time is going fast, but still, human element is totally not replaceable. Because whenever you teams are speaking, this just came to my mind, because AI can write an essay, but it cannot hold the hand of a TTPH nurse comforting a patient, isn't it? It cannot look into a child's eye and say, Amma, Appa, you can do it. Cannot. AI can complement us. We can be interdependent, but we cannot completely rely on technology. Why I replace the word technology with AI? Because I don't know I would like to bring this, remind you all. 2 years back in I think it's an NTP if I'm not wrong. PM was making a comment. I'm so shocked to see how our students become super intelligent overnight. Because the first day, the teachers give the homework was full of mistakes. The next day, the student come with like a wow, 5-star essay. Guess what? The AI or the ChatGPT or the Meta, it does that for us. So, but still, the human values still stays very strong. So, by the time I get the marks for each speakers, I think I would like to seriously say one thing from my heart. Social media taught us to care globally. We have so many keyboard warriors. But it must not make us forget to care locally. The grandma next room, who raised you, the father who is awaiting in the next room, who is hardworking for you, they don't need a like. You are giving a like to a person who is like 1,000 kilometers away, but you don't have a time to appreciate the cooking that your mom, did for you. And we all come and we all talk so many things about, till now I think we all shouldn't say that, this was done by them. Even we are contributing to whatever trauma that we are going through. We can hear hues and cries that we have never heard before. I'm a millennial. I've never heard this type of cries before where people are coming and, shouting, asking help for mental health. Didn't our grandparents go through all these emotional trauma? Yes, they did. The job opportunities, at least nowadays, you are so blessed, you're connected, you know where the job is. You have some people coming and talking to you, navigating the way for you. You have some technological assistance which really prepares the resume for you. But those days, they did not have any, but still they are able to create first-time graduates. They were able to nurture the leaders of today. If they can do, why not we? So, still, there's too many things to ponder. AI can give us shortcut. Yes, it can connect us, but to interconnect. But end of the day, if I go for a counseling, I need someone to talk to me. When I hear someone talking in my mother tongue, my heart melts. The same youngsters who were supporting and who were talking against AI, if at all, since I'm sitting in the newsroom, some of the videos that we post, I see a lot of support from the youngsters when we carry human interest stories. Human interest stories still tops the list because you can be a CEO, you can be an MD, you can be a top shot in any of the organizations. At the end of the day, love, affection, care matters. That's why we have Narayana Mission, that's why we have Sinta, that's why we have community care group. Otherwise, we all would have been like exchanging the scripture, exchanging Bhagavad Gita, or exchanging all the other Holy Quran. But God wants us to execute these love, these care, and these affection. And I'm sure it is your love for the society which really brought you all here and also brought all our people here amidst of this Saturday. Yes, so the scores are ready. Okay, so meanwhile, I may ask anybody from the Okay, so I think the floor, I don't see any positive hands coming up, so we just close this. So I'm just waiting for the scorecard to reach my end, so we can just give the verdict.
Vanakkam again. Thank you so much for your time, thank you so much for your thoughts, thank you so much for your participation. So the verdict is with me, but before that, after hearing both sides of this debate, the question before us, to put it very clear, it's not whether smartphones and social media exist in young people's life. The real question is, how does it help our people to live better? So, as a journalist, what I could say is, yes, they can help, but only with media literacy and responsible use. So, smartphones have put the world's knowledge in a teenager's palm. A student in Singapore can attend a lecture in Harvard. A young activist can mobilize 10,000 people for a cause in 24 hours. During the pandemic, COVID, these devices were lifelines for school, for mental health support, for staying connected to family, whatnot. But then the evidence of harm that is also presented. We also heard how endless scrolling affects sleep, self-esteem, focus, family, mental health, starting from the poster competition to the debate, everything was echoing this. And also the serious one which our national leaders always reiterate. 2023 study found that false news spread 6 times faster. If at all you all remember our Minister Min Shan, Minister Shanmugam, you all will definitely remember POFMA. It's also, because every time a false news a malicious news is spread, POFMA comes into picture, so we have to be more responsible. So where does this leave us? This leaves us with responsibility, not just for young people, but for all of us who shape the information ecosystem. So, before giving the judgment, also from the side of our respective judges in the panels, I would also like to leave this. Smartphones and social media do have the potential to help young people live better. They expand your learning, they expand your connection, they expand the civic participation, but that potential is only realized when we pair it that access with education. So, for today's judgment is concerned, any guesses which team has won? It's a very close competition though.
Yeah.
Yes. The team on my left or team on my right? How many vote for left? Okay. Left? Okay, right. Okay, for right? Okay. Okay, so the winner for today, for this competition, is the opposition team on my left. Can I ask the speakers, opposition Dan, Sujit and Alia? May please stand up? Okay. Congratulations. The judges have marked your team as the winning team based on the scores that we received from all the 3 judges on the panel. So opposition team, well done. You argue that progress isn't just about what we gain online, it's also about what we must not lose offline. So that message won the hearts today, and that's why you won the debate. So to all the people here, still there are some things which AI cannot replace. So let us take that as a compliment, and I was talking to one of the authority earlier. So definitely AI cannot replace us, the human element, the love, the care, the affection, the loyalty, the integrity, whatnot. So let us make AI to serve for us, not we are going to serve for AI. So with that note, I thank all of you for this wonderful evening. I thank God Almighty for bringing all of us together. I think from today onwards, a seed has been sown here.
Don't mind, I'll be using my headphone. Ken and Stephen, distinguished judges, ladies and gentlemen, and the youth who put on such a fabulous show this evening. Very good evening to all of you, and it's a pleasure to be here. I think the topic today is a very topical issue, one of great relevance to us. Most of you, I'm sure, will recollect in this last 1 week here in this country, we have seen what the kind of dangers, that unbridled access to social media can cause. In this case, self-radicalization. So the threats are very real. At this juncture, let me commend the organizing committee, for putting on a very well-organized event today, and also the youth who've put on great posters. I kept asking who's helped to prepare the posters. Apparently it's all done by the youth themselves. The TED Talks, extempore speaking, excellent, and of course the debate. As far as the debate is concerned, to tell you the truth, I know the judges had to come up with a decision, but personally I think the jury is still out on whether it is a boon or a bane. Okay, as I speak, countries throughout the world are coming in with control measures, to limit, control the access that youth have to social media. So the world is beginning to grapple, with all of this. And really the question before us is whether we embrace this technology or we avoid it. So that's the choice. But actually, it's a Hobson's choice, meaning no choice. We have to embrace it. And the question is then, how do we do this in a safe manner? And so at this point, when Ken Stephen reached out to me to ask me to officiate as the GOH for this event, he sent me the EDM for this event on WhatsApp. And I was looking through it, and then what caught my eye was this extract. It's from the Bible, it's Philippians. It's the full version of it is this: whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, think about these things. And what is Paul suggesting to us in this verse? Guard your mind. In essence, that's what he's suggesting. And so if I could give 3 takeaways to the youth, the world of the future is yours to inherit. For people of my age, there's less runway in front of us than there is behind us, would be these 3 takeaways. Fill your feed with what is true. The internet, social media, is full of rumors, noise, and half-truths. Before you scroll, share, or believe, pause and ask yourself, is this true? Fact check before you repost. Don't spread misinformation. Follow accounts that inform you, not just those that inflame you. Digital wisdom, therefore, starts with guarding what enters your mind. The second takeaway: post what is noble, right, and pure. Your profile is a reflection of you. Before you comment or post, ask, is this noble? Is this right? Is this pure? Stand up against cyberbullying, hate, and crude jokes. Choose words that build, not words that tear down. Use your platform to do good, encourage, create, and serve. Being digitally noble means bringing light, not darkness, to the timeline. And finally, the third takeaway: pursue what is lovely and admirable online. Algorithms will show you more of what you engage with. Choose intentionally. Watch, follow, and create content that is lovely, excellent, and praiseworthy. Celebrate others instead of comparing. Encourage instead of tearing down. Take breaks, as has been suggested by several readers today and even in the posters. Take breaks to touch the grass, pray, and connect with real people. Your attention is worship. Spend it on things that honor God and others. And with that, I want to thank all of you for this privilege accorded to me to officiate as guest of honor. Once again, kudos to the organizing committee for having put this event together, and to the youth who put on a wonderful show. Thank you, and God bless.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we have come to the much awaited prize giving ceremony. So, we have our guest of honor on stage with us to hand out the prizes. First, for the posters, we have 2 categories of prizes for the posters. We have the Merit Awards, which will go out to 4 of the 7 teams which have participated. And then we'll have places 3, 2, and 1. So 3 being second runners-up, 2 runners-up, and first the winners of this competition. So this was curated based on points tabulated by our distinguished judges, and thus the decisions are final. Without further ado, in no particular order, these are teams of merit. May I invite team number 2 on stage, please, to receive your certificates of merit. Team 2, please come on stage. Let's give them a round of applause. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Team 4 on stage, please. Team 4, congratulations on this merit award. Please stay on stage for the photo op. Thank you. Step forward. Thank you very much. Next up, can we please have Team 6 on stage? Please stay on stage for the photo op. And for the Merit Award, can we now have Team 7 on stage, please? Round of applause. Please stay on stage for the photo op. Right, ladies and gentlemen, now that leaves us with 3 teams and 3 prizes. I tried to ask if there's a drum roll, but I don't think there is. We can put our hands together if we want to. Now, tap. In 3rd place, 2nd runners-up, we have Team 5. That leaves us with 2 more teams, and the runners-up for this evening's poster competition is P3, leaving the champions as P1. Congratulations. Last but not least, we will champions of stage P1, please. Thank you very much again. I think it was a truly remarkable poster competition. Thank you for all who participated. Now, for the TED Talk participants, it's going to be a merit award. So may I please invite all 3 wonderful speakers on stage to receive their certificates. Now let's give them a round of applause. for those wonderful speeches. Well done, guys. Now for the debate winners, may I please invite, the results have been given to you. May I please invite the runners-up, the members of the proposition, to take your place and come up on stage, followed by the members of the opposition thereafter as the winners. Please take your place and come up on stage, members of the proposition. Can we have the rest of the team on stage as well? Maybe we need to check the devices. Can we have the members of the opposition, the winners for today's debate, up on stage, please? At this juncture, we would like to thank our guest of honor, Mr. SG61, for his valuable time. Thank you, sir. We now invite our dearest vicar on stage to give out the prizes for the participants of the Kahoot Grand Finale competition.
Good evening, everyone, and especially our guests of honor, distinguished judges and speakers, honored guests, parents, those who participated as contestants. On behalf of the parish of Christchurch, Singapore, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being present. Christchurch is a church that is more than 85 years old, but the church from the very beginning has always participated and engaged the community, especially through the founding of Christchurch Secondary School that continues in Woodlands today, and we also have the kindergarten. So the church has always believed that church is not just within the four walls of the building, but rather we are here to bless the community. So it is with this vision and desire that this initiative today, SG61, Building Beyond the Screen, took place. I just want to say from my heart, technology, as we heard so many things today, is a wonderful servant, but it should never become our master. And today, I think all that we have heard has reminded us of this truth. We, in the nation of Singapore, do not merely depend on technology, we depend on people. Because to people, God has given wisdom. To people, God has given us resilience and compassion. So as we come to the end of this event, let us remember that while artificial intelligence continues to become more and more intelligent, humanity must also become wiser, because knowledge is important, innovation is important, but above all, character will always matter more. So first of all, I want to thank especially the guest of honor, Mr. Devendran, and the honored judges for accepting our invitation. I also want to thank every participating student. Congratulations, because I know there was a lot of hard work. You prepared, you researched, you reflected. And whether or not you received an award today, every one of you is a winner, because you had the courage to participate, to make a voice heard. Well done. I also want to thank the community partners, the sponsors, the supporting organization. Thank you for being part of this great event this evening, and especially to every committee member and volunteer. Thank you for your dedication, your sacrifice, and may we continue in our journey of life, and may we build lives that are not controlled by our scripts, but guided by wisdom. May we build stronger character before building stronger technology. May we build stronger families before building stronger devices. May we build stronger communities before building smarter machines. So as a church, let me remind that we remain committed to serve Singapore and walk alongside our young people. Thank you. May God bless you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Vika, for the lovely closing speech. Now, before we call the evening to an end, we still have the main prize giving, and we also have the tokens of appreciation to give out to all our valuable partners and sponsors as well. We've got wonderful prizes this evening based on what I see for the competition. For the third position, which means the second runners-up, will get a Fitbit watch. The person who turns out to be runners-up will get an Apple AirPods, and the first position, the winner, gets an Apple Watch. Amazing gifts. Amazing. Right. Now, let's, without further ado, announce the winners. Vika, do you want to have the honor of doing that? Is that okay? So, and
the third place goes to Sonali Senapati. Second place goes to Rosie Augusta.
Congratulations, Rosie.
And the winner is Haniel.
Congratulations, Haniel. Thank you for all your participation. At this point, we'd like to invite our guest of honor, Mr. S. Devendran, to be presented with a plaque by our dearest speaker. Please come on stage, Mr. Devendran. Round of applause, please, for him. Thank you very much, Mr. Devendran. Next up, we'd like to invite our panel of judges, starting with Associate Professor Pierre Sutcliffe, please. Professor Pierre, please to the stage. disappear. Mr. Kenneth Chan had to leave earlier, but of course we will convey our thanks to him as well. Next up, we'd like to invite Dr. Grace Vincent on stage. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we have our lovely Dr. Ilamarisi Stefan. Thank you very much, Dr. Ilamarisi. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we also wish to thank our esteemed partners and supporters of this particular event. On behalf of SPF, Singapore Police Force, we'd like to invite Gideon on stage, please, to receive a token of appreciation for them. Thank you. Come on stage, please. This is for the group that was set up and for all the collaterals that were given out to today's participants and members of the floor as well. And of course, for our proud sponsors, in appreciation of all the generous support in time and in tide, we have Mr. Vijay Kumar Davidson Raj Kumar from Raj Agro Trading. Please come on stage. And of course, last but not least, after this is going to be a wonderful meal. And that's very much thanks to Casuarina Curry. And we say thank you to them. We have Mr. Marco Muralidharan Pillai. Please come forward. Thank you very much for all our lovely sponsors and for Vika for being on stage and giving out the prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful afternoon/evening. I know it took a bit longer than expected, but it's because great things are hard to keep contained. Congratulations to one and all. Please stay for photo opportunities at the back. We have the gallery area. If you'd like to take group photos, and of course we have our GOH still present, and any of our judges as well. Following which, please make your way downstairs for the sumptuous meals, delights which have been prepared. Once again, congratulations and have a lovely evening. Thank you.